Welcome to the Underground. I know I was supposed to do the Red reaction this week, but that's gonna have to wait because my voice is sort of hoarse and I didn't want to do it in my current state. So instead, I'm just gonna talk about one of my favorite Lana Del Rey songs, Mariner's Apartment Complex, and sort of review/analyze what I like so much about it, and then I'll give it a rating at the end like I do with all the songs. Now, I must confess, I haven't actually listened to the entirety of NFR, which in fact would be a great reaction to do at some point. But for now, I just want to talk about this song because I somehow ended up hearing it. I don't even know how at this point, but it's become one of my favorite Lana Del Rey songs, and just one of my favorite songs, period. So right off the bat, this song just sounds like the beach. I think this was produced by Jack Antonoff. This is one of his strengths as a producer, is he's able to cram all these really subtle elements in that make the song just feel alive. Like if you were to just stop and like listen over and over to any one segment of the song, you would see there's all this different stuff going on. Like there's these really subtle drums, there's some guitar, there's piano, there's like all these weird little synths that go in and out. And Jack Antonoff gets a lot of shit, rightfully, for making some boring music sometimes, but with this song, he really does a good job of building the atmosphere and just layering stuff to make it feel actually alive. And it's like a magical land. You can just totally get lost in it, and you don't even know where the last 4 minutes went until you like wake up sweating, and you're like, what just happened? You were just completely sucked into the song. So yeah, it has a very magnetic feel to it where it just like draws you in and pulls you in towards it, and it's really engaging. And we haven't even started talking about the lyrics yet, my. So lyrically, I think this song is about Lana wanting to be the lighthouse in somebody's life, their guiding light, their savior, where she's presenting herself as a force for good, a force for healing, and she's asking this other person, presumably this man, to let her in and let her perform this healing magic. And she's saying, it's okay, you can just let go of all of your sadness, let go of all of your fear, just let me be close to you and hold you, and I'll make everything okay. So right off the bat, she starts with the line, you took my sadness out of context at the Mariner's Apartment Complex, I ain't no candle in the wind. She's saying, you might think I'm sad, but I'm actually not sad, even though I might seem sad sometimes, and I'm not a fragile little candle in the wind that's blowing super gently and can be extinguished by the slightest puff. I'm actually a really strong and resilient person, and just because I was sad once or whatever, that doesn't define me. You're taking my sadness out of context. I'm actually a happy and strong person, which is a really interesting statement, and also just you took my sadness out of context is a great line just in general. But the next lines are even better. So she says, I'm the bored, the lightning, the thunder, the kind of girl who's going to make you wonder who you are and who you've been. So bored could mean a lot of things. You can sort of take it to mean like the board of a ship, because there's a lot of ships and beaches in this song. You know, or just bored in general because she's sturdy and she's reliable. But for some reason, I always think of a Ouija board. And when she says she's like the lightning and the thunder, you know, she's sort of this natural, supernatural, elemental force of nature. Like in the Bob Dylan song Love Minus Zero, where he says, she doesn't have to say she's faithful, but she's true, like ice, like fire. And I talked about in my Bob Dylan review how he sort of presents this girl as an elemental force. That's how Lana is presenting herself here. She's saying she's so intense, she's going to make you wonder who you are, who you've been. She's going to make you reinvent yourself, but not in a bad way, in like a good healing way. Like they say about Aslan, the Chronicles of Narnia, where someone's like, oh, is Aslan safe? And they say, no, he's not safe, but he's good. And that's what Lana is saying. She's lightning and she's thunder. She's not safe, but she's good. And who I've been is with you on these beaches, your Venice bitch, your diehard, your weakness. Maybe I could save you from your sins. More beach imagery, but also the second line is interesting because it's basically this little string of 3 cliches, one after another. Your Venice bitch, which is nice wordplay, but also just the idea of being someone's bitch, you know, where it's like the man has total control over the woman. She also says she's his diehard, she's a ride or die for him, like she'll do anything for him, but she also says she's his weakness, as in, you know, everyone's like, oh baby, you're my kryptonite, like I'm a super strong guy, but you're the only woman who I actually like. You know what I'm saying? It's these sort of 3 cliches one after another, but they all work really well together. Your Venice bitch, your diehard, your weakness. Each of these individually is sort of a dumb thing to say, honestly, just on their own because of how dated and shallow these ideas are, but together it sort of strings into something much more deep and wholesome, as we'll see in a minute. And of course, maybe I could save you from your sin, she's comparing herself to Jesus himself, but then Jesus actually does get mentioned in the very next line. So kiss the sky and whisper to Jesus, my, you found this, you need this, take a deep breath, baby, let me in. I just want to say I love the way she says my here, because she doesn't even sing it, she just sort of says it in the song, but it comes across as really like happy and sort of energy restoring. It's like if God himself found somebody who was lost and they're like crying and he just is holding them and he's saying my, it's gonna be okay. You've gotten yourself in this situation, but it's really not as big of a deal as you think it is. You're gonna be alright because I'm watching over you now. And she's saying take a deep breath, baby, let me in, as in you need to let me get close to you and heal you in this way that I have the power to do because I'm this supernatural force of good. And then we get to the chorus, you lose your way, just take my hand, you're lost at sea, then I'll command your boat to me again. Don't look too far, right where you are, that's where I am, I'm your man, I'm your man. The last line, I'm your man, is incredible because it's reversing the typical relationship rules where usually, you know, obviously the man is saying, I'm your man, I'll do anything for you, etc., etc. And he's the one who's supposed to like comfort the woman when she's sad and take care of her. But in this case, Lana is taking care of the man. So she's saying, I'm your man because I'm going to play the role of the man in this relationship, at least in this moment where I'm going to take care of you. you and do what you need me to do, even if you don't realize it yet. And she says, when you're lost, I'll command your boat to me again. So she, even though the man is the captain of the ship, she's his guiding light and his muse. And she's the one who's going to take care of him and protect him, and no one else will. Then we get into the second verse. They mistook my kindness for weakness. I fucked up, I know that, but Jesus, can a girl just do the best she can? Catch a wave and take in the sweetness, think about it, the darkness, the deepness, all the things that make me who I am. When she says they mistook my kindness for weakness, I'm not sure exactly who they is. I think it must be past lovers or people she's loved who have seen how kind she's being. Oh my, I lost my cover here, hold on. Past lovers who have seen how kind she's being and mistook it for her being a weak or not passionate person when really she's just trying to do the best thing for them. But I love how she says catch a wave, take in the sweetness, think about it, the darkness, the deepness. Because obviously when you have this wave imagery, then you're thinking, okay, the darkness, the deepness, so she's dark and deep like the ocean itself. And like the ocean, she can swallow you up and consume you, which seemed like a bad thing, but there's also some sweetness involved. So she's dark and deep, but she's also sweet. And this is what makes her a very special person. Because a lot of people are either just dark or just sweet, and finding someone who's able to be both at certain times depending on what is needed is an incredible quality. It reminds me of the Josh Ritter song Bright Smile, where he says he was always looking for someone with a bright smile and dark eyes, as in someone who is joyful but also able to understand the more complex or deep emotions and feelings and ideas without being overwhelmed by it. These are all the things that make me who I am. This is who Lana is, as a person who is able to be dark and deep like the ocean but also sweet at the same time. And who I am is a big time believer that people can change, but you don't have to leave her. When everyone's talking, you can make a stand. The meaning here is a little unclear, but it seems like she's trying to convince the guy. Maybe the guy's trying to leave her because he thinks she's too sweet or too shallow, and she's trying to say, look, you don't understand, but like you need me right now because I'm the woman who can heal you. And I'm a big time believer that people can change, but you don't have to leave me to change. You can change by staying right here. I can change you. Because even in the dark, I feel your resistance. You can see my heart burning in the distance. Baby, 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 I'm your man. In the dark, I imagine in the dark of a bedroom, she can feel his resistance. Like, she doesn't have to see him or even hear him speak, but she can sort of feel that he's not really on board with what she's trying to do. But he's like a child who doesn't understand what's actually good for him, like he's refusing to eat his vegetables or something. She's saying because the man won't get close to her emotionally, he can see her heart burning, but only from a distance. She's committed, but he needs to fully commit to in order for them to formlessly entwine in the way that they're supposed to, and for her to change him forever, in a good way. He can see her heart burning in the distance, but he needs to get closer in order to catch on fire himself, burn to ashes, and then rise up like a phoenix. And then we get the chorus again, some bouncing around whispers of are you ready for it? And the instrumental just swells in this lovely way. And like I said before, all these layered instruments really make the song feel like a living, breathing thing. Like a very real expression of this sweet passion, this sweet emotion, and this desire to do good that she's feeling. Even if the man doesn't understand, he will surely eventually come around and let her do what she needs to do. I mean, look at the cover for this album. She's reaching out saying, take my hands, let me hold you and change you. With the American flag in the background, this is just... But overall, I can confirm the Mariner's Apartment Complex is a certified amazing song. It personifies that there is still good in the world in the form of this magical love that exists between two people, or maybe even just in one person, and that it has the power to change people for the better. I'm your man. And thanks for watching. Red reaction coming soon, hopefully. Raw reaction to this album at some point, or some more Lana songs, like... When she drops the next single after Bluebird, I'll definitely react to that. And yeah, I'll see you around, I guess.